That's a live look at road conditions in the metro as hundreds of crashes are being reported in both states. How soon West Fargo elementary students can expect to go back to the classroom. Plus, President Donald Trump speaks out against the new rules ahead of this week's final debate. Valley News Live at 10 starts right now.
Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
Use your time wisely tomorrow. There's a break in the snowfall, which means there's time to clean off your driveway and sidewalk. Let's head to Nathan Hopper with the latest on what's on the ground now and what's to come. Nathan?
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, we've gotten a couple of reports so far. A couple of note were 1.5 inches in Grand Forks and 3.3 inches of snowfall in Fargo. I did just get a report about 5 minutes ago from Dickey County from Ellendale of 3.5 inches. So that's what we have so far. Of course, we'll get more snowfall reports as we continue through the rest of this evening, and we'll probably have those full reports for you on the Valley Today coming up tomorrow morning. But here's a look right now. You can see some moisture on I-94 and on University, and this is what we're concerned about, possibly freezing in the overnight hours tonight. But of course, thanks to everyone for sending in some beautiful snow photos. Here's one kind of a take on the October 20th snowfall of the grill. Yeah, has some snow on it. Perhaps not exactly a night to crack open the old grill, but thanks for sending that picture in from the Vergas, Minnesota area. Seeing a lot of locations at this hour in North Dakota with some snowfall on the roadway or some slush on the roadway as well. This can also be said for our friends in Minnesota, as we're still seeing some snow falling actively for our friends in Minnesota. Now, of course, coming up in a couple minutes, we'll talk about how dicey things could be for that Wednesday morning commute and talk about a heavier dose of snowfall on Thursday, and that's just in a few minutes, Mike.
All right, thanks so much, Nathan. As he mentioned, some area roads have gotten dicier since the sun has gone down. In Minnesota since this afternoon, State Patrol reporting nearly 150 crashes and almost double that number of vehicles spinning off the road. Valley News Team's Katie Opperly joins us live now with the latest on conditions here in the metro area. Katie?
Mike, I'm here off of Interstate 94 near the pedestrian bridge in Fargo. We are still seeing those slick, slushy, and wet conditions. The snow might not be falling anymore, which is good news, but officials warn that as we're heading into these overnight hours, there's that increased risk of that ice on the roads. This means a risk for our people that are on the roads tonight, as well as for those with their morning commute on city streets and the interstates. State Patrol officials on both sides of the river say they have responded to crashes all day. In Minnesota alone, responding to nearly 500 throughout the day, the majority being vehicle spinouts. People out on the roads this evening say it's not something anyone behind the wheel should take lightly.
It's wet. I live out of town in Buffalo, so it's 30 minutes west of here. So coming in was pretty slow. When you hit your brakes, you could feel it kick out.
It's been kind of building all day and kind of been watching it, and I was kind of nervous about coming home. Just take it easy. Don't go too fast. Don't push yourself.
Officials say these people have the right idea. Make sure you are slowing down. Increase that following distance for the vehicle in front of you and pay attention to the road. For now, reporting live in Fargo, Katie Opperly, Valley News Live.
All right, Katie, thanks for that advice. And one more piece, make sure that you have the Valley News Live Storm Team weather app handy this week. Just search VNL Weather in the App Store. You can download it for free. New at 10 tonight, close contacts of positive COVID-19 cases will no longer be contacted by North Dakota public health officials. This from the Department of Health tonight, as it reveals contact tracers are overwhelmed by the recent amount of positive cases. Valley News Team Stacy Van Dyke is here to break down the state's new protocol. Stacy?
Thanks, Mike. If you test positive for COVID-19 in North Dakota, the state is now expecting you to notify all of your close contacts. From there, you're supposed to direct them to the state's Department of Health website, where they're creating pages with videos and written instructions explaining what that person should do next. Health officials say people aren't cooperating with the contact tracers. On top of that, it's The time it's taking to notify a person of his or her positive results has increased from 24 hours to 72 hours, creating a backlog of positive cases just waiting to be assigned to a case investigator. Tonight, the governor announced he's shifting resources. 50 North Dakota National Guard soldiers will go from acting as contact tracers to working to provide people with their results as quickly as possible. The governor says this switch should eliminate the backlog by Thursday. Mike?
All right, thanks, Stacy. The state is also working on an automatic notification system to alert an individual who tests positive. The system is already delivering automated notifications to people with negative test results. In West Fargo, elementary students will be back in the classroom 5 days a week by the end of the month. The district's timeline for pre-K through 5th grade students has Harwood and Legacy elementary schools the first to bring students back. All elementary buildings are planning for a 5-day re-entry by November 30th. That's the first day of the second trimester. A Florida man is urging you to vote early and in person. He says he went to the polls yesterday, but was told his ballot had already been submitted in the mail. Richard Schmidt says that he was in North Dakota when his ballot was allegedly sent to him and when it was turned in. He says he was eventually given a provisional ballot.
With this contentious election that we have this year, with all the mail-ins and all the back and forth, if it happened to me, how many other people are going to have issues also?
Cass County officials say while a problem like Schmidt's is unlikely to happen again, if it does, a voter would be given a provisional ballot and the issue would have been resolved before it could be counted. Native American tribes opposed to the Dakota Access Pipeline are once again asking a federal judge to stop the flow of oil. The Standing Rock Sioux and other tribes succeeded on their first attempt, only to have an appeals court overturn the shutdown earlier this year. This time, they're asking the judge to clarify that shutdown ruling and to have the line stopped while the legal battle plays out. Pipeline operators and the Army Corps of Engineers both maintain that the pipeline is safe. In Minneapolis, the Justice Department is spending $3 million on a new response center that they say will prevent the use of excessive force. This comes in response to the death of George Floyd 5 months ago. They say the center will help reform police policies and provide training for officers on drug addiction and mental health.
We have created a law enforcement training and technical assistance response center. It is a tactical center that will surge resources to work with law enforcement agencies across the country. Our hope is that Minneapolis does decide to take advantage of this response center and all that we are offering.
The police chief in Minneapolis says that he'll take them up on the offer. The International Association of Chiefs of Police will run that particular center. President Trump was in Pennsylvania today, rallying supporters in the battleground state with just 2 weeks to go until Election Day. He also criticized new rules for this week's final presidential debate. Natalie Brand reports from the White House.
President Trump rallied supporters in the key battleground state of Pennsylvania, where recent polling shows he's trailing Joe Biden.
This is an election between the Trump super recovery, which is happening right now, and a Biden depression.
Before heading to Pennsylvania, the president cut short a scheduled interview with 60 Minutes correspondent Lesley Stahl, and later tweeted he's considering posting video of it shot by the White House before the interview airs Sunday.
You're going to get a kick out of it. Lesley Stahl is not going to be happy.
60 Minutes says the White House agreed only to record the interview for its archives and that the broadcast has a history of interviewing presidential candidates and asking important questions in the run-up to elections.
You didn't think I should have closed our country?
Earlier in the day, President Trump called into Fox and Friends to lash out at the Commission on Presidential Debates. Their new rules will give each candidate 2 uninterrupted minutes at the start of each answer by muting the other's microphone.
These people are not good people, this commission. A lot of funny things go on with them.
President Trump has also complained that the debate isn't focused solely on foreign policy. The moderator plans to ask about race in America, national security, and the coronavirus pandemic. The president previewed he'll go after Biden over his son Hunter's business deals in Ukraine and China.
I think he's imploding. You look at all the corruption in his family, it's tremendous corruption.
The Biden campaign says President Trump is, quote, afraid to face more questions about his disastrous COVID response and is more concerned with the rules of the debate than he is getting a nation in crisis the help it needs.
They knew what was going on. They knew that it could hurt people. They'd had the information since January. They covered it up. And so what we have to do is we got to elect Joe Biden.
Biden is off the campaign trail preparing for Thursday's debate, but former President Obama will hold a drive-in rally for him in Philadelphia on Wednesday. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
On Monday, the U.S. Supreme Court agreed to extend the deadline for counting some mail-in ballots in Pennsylvania by 3 days, citing the pandemic and postal delays. Still ahead tonight on Valley News Live at 10, no mask, no travel. New recommendations from the CDC for travelers who refuse to mask up.
And we did just get a fresh snowfall report from the Laverne area of 3.3 inches of snow with 0.45 liquid equivalent, and still seeing some light snowfall in northern Minnesota. We'll break down what this could mean for your morning commute and talk about heavier snow.